Hello, welcome to InnerQuest. My name is Jay Stone, your host for today, and our guest is Rosemary Hurwitz. Welcome, Rosemary.
Thank you, Jay.
Rosemary is going to talk today about the Enneagram. Rosemary has a communications degree from Marquette University and a pastoral studies master's degree from Loyola University in Chicago. She has over 20 years experience in career consulting and in leading retreats for a marriage encounter program and for the engaged. Rosemary is committed to self-awareness and spiritual growth. Her workshops and individual spiritual direction focus on teaching the Enneagram. Is there a quick definition of Enneagram? You know, what does it mean?
In Greek, ennea means 9, and gram means point. Hence, a 9-pointed circular diagram for 9 universal personality types.
Okay, and that leads to the next question is, tell us more about the Enneagram.
What
and
are
why
they?
Well, before we go into that, why should somebody study the Enneagram?
The Enneagram the purpose of the Enneagram is to develop and deepen your self-awareness and your empathy, your compassion for all types. It improves relationships. It's really a profound and practical path for many people. You know, lots of things are intellectual, and we try to grab onto them and improve ourselves. But this gives you some nice practical strategies to grow.
Okay, so now tell us more about the Enneagram.
Well, there are 9 personality types. First, I want to say that that's the psychological point of view. From the spiritual point of view, it would be 9 manifestations of the divine. So you might come to a workshop that I have called the Introduction to the Enneagram, the Rainbow of God. The 9 types are, on our diagram here, the good, the loving, the effective. The 4th type is the original. The 5 is the wise. 6, loyal. 7, joyful. 8, powerful. And 9, peaceful.
And do we all, if somebody is, let's say, good, does this man or woman have the qualities of the 8 other points?
We are all all of these types. We just have our home in one of them more than
And what determines our home? Is it more nature, nurture?
That'll be a question that's debated probably for, eons. But Jerry Wagner, who I studied with at Loyola University in Chicago, comes at it. He's a psychologist, and he comes at it from that point of view. Sandra Maitre is an author who comes about the other point of view, that we come this way.
Okay, so one is a nature, one is a nurture. Now, let's say if there's like a family of 6, mother, father, 4 children, are children more likely to follow in their footsteps of their parents? Are siblings more likely to have the same point?
Well, a psychologist could answer that question better in terms of how is a personality formed. I'm sure there's many variables. I don't know that I can really answer that. I think our personalities, from the nature point of view, I really believe this the more I've studied the Enneagram, that we come with a purpose within our personality.
Well, I was reading...
And then the nature part, we get rounded out. We come to the families that we come to and get rounded out into the personality.
Well, I was reading today about happiness and, who's more likely to be happy, someone who focuses on happiness or joy or meaning. And lo and behold, people are happiest have a meaning, a purpose.
Right.
And I think that fits in with the Enneagram. If you're true to the Enneagram, you're true to your own purpose.
Right.
What is the history of the Enneagram?
Well, it's ancient. We know that. It's disputed. Its origins are disputed. But it is between 2,000 and 4,000 years old.
And when you say the origin, do we know, is it the culture or the date that's in dispute?
The dates.
Okay.
I mean, we know it goes back to these mystical mathematical thinkers. You know, they say that it surfaced, or some of it surfaced in the sacred geometry of the Pythagoreans and the, you know, these other mythical mathematical greats like Plato and the Neoplatonists. But what I find really fascinating about the Enneagram, the history, is the universality within the Enneagram, in that it covers, through the history, it's covered three main faith traditions. In Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. In Judaism, in the Kabbalah, the tree of life, or the tree of ninefoldedness, has been likened to the Enneagram.
Mm-hmm.
In the Sufis, with the Sufis, you know, part of the Islamic tradition, the Brotherhood of the Bees were thought to collect and store knowledge and pass them on for future generations. The symbolists, they taught with symbols. You know, the mystic, then the Christian tradition, the mystic Ramon Lull, who was influenced by these Islamic studies, you know, it has filtered down through all the, you know, many important names. You know, you'll hear Gurdjieff and Naranjo, and Father Ox, O-C-H, Robert Ox, was a Jesuit. Mm-hmm. Somehow it has filtered down into the Jesuit universities and into the mainstream corporations, et cetera. That's where I learned mine.